Today, we're diving into a change that could completely revolutionize how you use your iPhone. Seriously, Apple is getting ready to roll out a massive upgrade for Siri, one that could take it from a, let's be honest, sometimes frustrating assistant into the voice-only remote control for your entire phone.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get into why Siri needed this upgrade so badly. Then, we'll explore what this voice-only iPhone future actually looks like. After that, we'll peek under the hood at how the tech works, connect it to Apple's bigger AI game plan, and finally, we'll cover the timeline and the fine print.
All right, let's start with something I think we've all felt at some point. That classic Siri frustration.
You know the feeling, right? You ask Siri to do something and it just doesn't get it. For years, Siri has been criticized for lagging behind its competitors, for misinterpreting what you say, and for just not living up to that initial promise of a truly smart assistant.
And it wasn't just us, the users, who felt this. Apple knew it too. They even had to delay some of the advanced Siri features they announced at their own developer conference. That was a huge sign that the foundation just wasn't strong enough. It was time for a total rebuild.
So, what's Apple's big answer to all this? Well, let's get into the incredible new reality they're trying to build.
Here's the core idea, and it's a big one. The ability to control pretty much any app on your phone, just by talking to it. And I don't mean just simple commands. We're talking about a real, honest-to-goodness, hands-free experience for complicated multi-step jobs.
So, what does that actually look like? Well, imagine saying something like, Siri, find that photo I took last weekend, crop my friend out of it, and then send it to my mom on WhatsApp. All in one go. That kind of deep control inside an app has been the holy grail for voice assistants for a long, long time. Now, here's what's really important. This is not just for Apple's own apps. No way. They're already testing this with a whole bunch of the apps you use every single day. We're talking Uber, YouTube, Amazon, and of course, messaging apps like WhatsApp.
Okay, this all sounds pretty incredible. But how are they actually going to pull this off? Let's look at the tech that's making it all possible.
The secret sauce here is a massively upgraded system called App Intense. The best way to think about it is like a universal translator that allows Siri to reach deep inside other apps and perform really specific actions, almost like it magically knows the layout of every single one.
And listen to this. Apple's own head of software, Craig Federighi, basically admitted their old way of doing things just wasn't cutting it anymore. He said, and I quote, "We realized that our old approach wasn't going to get us to Apple quality. This confirms it wasn't a small fix. It was a complete teardown and rebuild."
So the big change is moving away from a messy patchwork system. The old Siri was kind of cobbled together, trying to merge different ways of handling commands. This new version, though, it's being built from scratch on one single unified system. That's a game changer for making it reliable and precise. But this whole Siri upgrade isn't just about making Siri less annoying. It's actually a super critical piece of Apple's entire AI strategy for the next decade.
Apple's CEO, Tim Cook, has made it crystal clear. He sees AI as the next great frontier, as big as the smartphone itself. He said, Apple must do this. Apple will do this. This is sort of ours to grab. When the CEO talks like that, you know it's not just another feature update. This is the future of the company.
So why the huge push right now? Well, for one, the AI race with other tech giants is heating up like crazy. But it's more than that. Apple is laying the foundation for future devices. We're talking about things like a smart display or even a tabletop robot. Products that would be almost useless without this kind of advanced voice control.
Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. When can you actually expect to get your hands on this, and what are the catches?
So here's the bottom line. The feature is incredibly powerful, letting you do complex stuff in all those major apps we talked about. But, and this is a big but, the full rollout isn't expected until the spring of 2026, and even then, it's going to launch with some safety guardrails in place.
So, to put that on your calendar, we'll probably see the iPhone 17 lineup announced in the fall of 2025. But this massive Siri superpower will likely arrive a few months after that, in a software update around spring of 2026.
And Apple is being smart about this. To avoid any major screw-ups, they're planning a cautious launch. That means, at first, Siri's new powers will be limited in really sensitive areas, especially things like your banking and health apps. They want to nail the reliability before they let it touch our most critical data.
And all of this leaves us with one huge final question. If your voice becomes the main remote control for your device, able to find things, edit things, send things, then what happens to the screen? Does it just become a place for confirmation or something else entirely? This shift really could change everything about that little black mirror we carry around in our pocket.